Thank you, and I want to just say how much I appreciate what each of you are doing and contributing to this debate. It's encouraging for the future. I represent a small to medium-sized employer that has maybe different needs in the large employer community or different resources. And I guess I'd like to just add to the gap discussion, the knowledge gap and the skills gap, but I'm going to call an attitude gap. And I'd say that a significant percentage of the folks that do not work out at our company or the jobs that are open are because we can't find people with the right kind of attitude, willingness to show up, work hard, be honest. And one thing I think we have to be careful of, and I'm not picking on anyone here, but the idea of belittling a McDonald's job, you know, any job that you do well, you should be very proud of. And I bet a lot of folks in this room started at jobs like flipping McDonald's. I know I had jobs worse than that, if you want to call it that. But so my question is, do you guys do anything in talking about that attitude issue, and especially from, you know, communities where there aren't role models of folks who've been successful in jobs? What can we do? And maybe it's more of a Mora question, K through 12, because if folks are already at a community college, they're showing some sense of drive to talk about that attitude issue and how important that is to your success, as well as skills and knowledge.
Right. So guilty for using McDonald's. I was just using it for salary, but actually we find that a lot of people who worked at McDonald's do know to come on time and be responsive, and if they don't show up, they don't have a job. So I'm going to use, I don't know, I'll find another one, but thank you. So two comments here. One is in this whole work that the task force is doing around what I call essential skills, there's a very clear definition of attitude, of not just coming to work ready, coming to work prepared, having an idea that you're part of a bigger thing, so having a cultural awareness, having a sense of team, having a sense of energy and dedication and loyalty. That's all part of what we're focusing on. But one of the things I didn't get into is before you start trying to do new things in Massachusetts, which we're famous for, we need to understand what already exists. And so this task force has looked at what, through the Department of Education and through the regional employment boards, the REBs and the WIBs and everything else, what already exists out there in terms of career readiness. And there's a lot of what they call connecting activities that have suffered recently from funding, but there are connecting activities that are very much focused on attitude. The guidance counselors have been trained and are supposed to be training young people in these attitudes. And these are again, in my book, are not soft skills. They're essential skills, or you just won't be employed a week from now. So I'm not sure if that answers your question, but there is a lot going on already, and the task force is devoted to trying to see what we can do. And as I hinted at, the worst thing you can do as a board is impose things that are unaffordable or just not implementable. You may as well just go off and talk to yourself in a room with no windows. So we take our responsibility to add things to the Common Core standards around career readiness. We take that very seriously to say, how can schools do this and how can we help them, not just, here, it's your problem, Miss Teacher. So I don't know if anyone else.
I would just add that for those of you who read Collins's book, Good to Great, there's a section in there called First Who, Then What? And he suggests that starting right up front in the interview process, you don't interview to find out what people know, you interview to find out who people are. You start with people first, you can add the others, and it's easy to look at the resume, what they do, but we spend 90% of our time reading through and trying to understand the technical parts of what they can do, what they can't. And we've spent very little time up front, okay, with trying to determine whether or not they're going to fit into the culture, who they are, what do they do. So I suggest even up front that's one thing we can do. The other thing is once the employees get in, I mean, the whole idea behind this is, again, for sustainability. You want people to be long-term. And you want to even if you bring the best people in and they leave, you're not going to be successful. So we have an ESOP. Our entire company is ESOP. It's an employee stock-owned company. Oh boy, if you want to talk about motivation and attitude, when people are vested, they're working for themselves. What you have to do is just don't demotivate people. You don't have to worry about slogans and trying to get people ready to go. All you have to do is just stay out of their way, okay, and to keep them motivated. So you have to look internally. What is our culture, Okay, does it have anything to do with the attitude issue? And what am I doing up front in terms of the people that I'm bringing in? Okay, am I really looking, and was it a good fit to begin